Welcome back to the best of WSBA's Morning News with Gary Sutton.
With us this morning is Dr. Alok Trivedi, and he is a national expert in stress reduction and also is going to talk to us this morning about strengthening your immune system. You can find him at Alok Trivedi. That's ALOKTRIVEDI.com. And Dr. Trivedi joins us this morning here on WSBA Morning News with Gary Sutton. Good morning, Dr. Trivedi. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's good to have you on this morning. And you've got kind of an interesting story, don't you? I mean, I want you to tell people a little bit about it before we get to some of these tips for boosting the immune system and staying healthy. But give us a little bit of your story before we get into that.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I was in private practice, for about 14 years. And you know, at first people walked into my office with all these ailments, and you would look at people's symptoms. And the more I started studying and the more I started asking questions about people and their health and the more extensive history we got into that, I realized that a lot of the challenges that people were having were psychosomatic, meaning that they were thinking. It was related to different stresses in their homes or different stresses in their relationships, money, and all these things showed up in their body. And I'd figured out that when I helped them navigate a communication challenge with their spouse, or maybe help them figure out, now I didn't help them make more money necessarily, but help them at least deal with the stresses that was going on, their physical ailments go away. Their back pain went away. Their nervous system started to work properly. Their immune system started to work properly. They get over colds faster. And I thought, you know, there's something to this thing. So, you know, in my years, the last 25 years studying the brain and humans and health and human behavior, I realized that there's a vast connection between our physical body and our psychological body. And true health will come when you can match both of them together.
It's interesting that you say that, because I remember reading different anecdotal studies and so forth over the years. They said people who are fighting cancer, for example, the better their attitudes, the more things seem to happen in more of a positive direction. I'm sure you've read the same things, obviously. So are we saying, you know, the way you think, the positive way you think, maybe is going to help in terms of the physical recovery time or the physical reaction of the body to some of the things that are happening out there to us?
I agree with that, but I wouldn't say it's positive. I don't want people to think positive, because people put blinders on when they're positive. What I say to do is realize that, you know, be objective, be understanding, right? Like right now in this situation in our world, COVID-19 is a real thing. There's no question. It's there. It's existing. We know that it's there.
No question.
But do we need to inundate ourselves every single day with the fear of death in our own life? Because that's going to create further stress and create your immune system to stop working as well. And what that's going to do, it's actually going to make you more susceptible to the condition, versus realizing it's there. Do everything you can in your power to maintain your health, take care of yourself, and know that your body's defenses are working the best that it can.
Dr. Trivedi, we're hearing a lot of things being said by people every day, from our state governments to our federal government and so forth, on how to take care of ourselves. But you've got some very specific tips this morning for boosting the immune system and staying healthy. We've got about 6 minutes here. I wanted to try to get to some of those, so I'm going to turn it over to you to give some of those tips that people maybe haven't thought much about but can definitely work on at home.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I tell people to do right now, it's extremely important, is make sure you're drinking lots of water. I know water, it sounds so simple, but it's so important right now, especially because people are sitting at home. They're not doing much. They're going to eat more food, and what they're eating is a lot of processed foods. And that processed food, it's going to have a lot of salt, and it's going to retain water. What the problem with that is if you become infected with a cold, a flu, a virus, or anything like that, you want to be able to flush the system out of that stuff. And the water is needed to remove it out of the body. That's one of the things I can recommend people to do. The other thing I recommend people to do is eat lots of greens. Greens have been shown to alkalize your body, which most people need in today's world. And if you look at it, what happens is your body has its minerals, its densities, its vitamins, everything inside of natural foods. So if you can make sure that you eat as many greens as you can, it's going to help your system fight off anything that comes along as well. I like to say,
I wanted to come back to one thing you mentioned on water, though. It was something interesting that I found in the information you sent out. Coconut water is a good alternative. Mm-hmm. You said it has a lot of potassium, and when your sodium and potassium levels are in balance, you're going to be healthier. A lot of us never really probably knew that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, our RDA, which is our recommended daily amount of potassium, is 4,700 milligrams of potassium. Wow. And the average person gets less than 1,000 milligrams. We have less than 2% of the people who actually hit 4,700 milligrams. And what that does is statistically, or just with your body, it's going to help lower blood pressure, help lower the salts, keep your body in a state of balance.
Wow. And you've got some other suggestions as well here. We have about 2.5 minutes left. Go ahead.
I would recommend that, people talk about exercise and movement and that, and there's several things you want to do. If you have a set of stairs and you can go up and down the stairs and your body allows you to do that, make sure you get in there 20 to 30 flights just on a day-to-day basis, because you want to make sure that your body's moving, your heart's pumping, and that's going to help remove and get oxygen into the system, number one. But the other thing is, if you can, and if it's a possibility and your state allows you to, then go out for a walk and go and make sure go 20, 30 minutes, 4 or 5 times a week, because the oxygen that you're going to breathe in is going to be necessary to get the things moving and to transport all the nutrients and minerals inside the system. So that oxygen comes through aerobic exercise, not high-intensity exercise. So it's important to make sure we're doing that. And I guess one of the final things I would recommend, truly, at least from a psychological state, is just relax, right? Just calm down.
Right.
Don't overthink this. And just take care of yourself and know that your immune system has the ability to be able to fight off. If you did get COVID-19 and you did that, if you do everything in your power in your body, it allows your body to beat it, have the defenses against it so that you can stay healthy and live long, healthy lives.
I saw a couple other things, too, that you listed. I thought they really can get overlooked sometimes. Avoid family arguments, and make sure when you're talking to your kids, talk to them about facts, not all about the might be, should be's, could be.
Yeah, absolutely. Avoid family arguments. It's going to be tough. Of course, it's going to be tough when everyone's at home and everyone's down each other's throats, just arguing and things like that. Everyone's stressed. But be the calm one in the family. Be the one that creates rationality out of the family. It's extremely important to do that. And the final thing I would recommend is with your kids, it's so important with them that you don't put your fears into them. It's wise to just take a step back, allow the conversation to happen, tell them the facts, tell them the understanding, but realize that this is a great opportunity for them to learn and be at home. And one of the things I recommend with your kids is have them do more things that they love to do right now. If they love to play video games, have them do projects around video games. If they love to play soccer, have them do projects around soccer. That way they get to learn and grow at a individual level.
Dr. Trivedi, where can people go to get more information from you for this great segment this morning? Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, you can go to dralok.net. It's ALOK. It's probably the easiest way to find me. It's dralok.net. That's the easiest place to find me.
Dr. Alok Trivedi, I hope we can talk again, Doctor. Appreciate your really common sense, down-to-earth stuff this morning. Really helpful. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Trivedi with us here on WSBA Morning News with Gary Sutton.
Thanks for listening to the best of WSBA's Morning News with Gary Sutton.